The silence is quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we would take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet.
Good afternoon. You are tuned into Ability Matters, program that covers matters to do with abilities, disabilities and everything in between. Ability Matters is one of the longest running disability-related programs in the whole wide world. Starting as Headway On Air in 2007, you can now listen to podcasts of previous Ability Matters programs on YouTube and Spotify. Just search for Ability Matters. Ability Matters is brought to you by My Home Living Care, an NDIS registered disability support organisation.
Thank you, Sean. So that was just our intro. He does a wonderful job promoting our programs, and I'd love to start off by saying thank you very much to Tim for his past 2 hours of Through the Past Darkly. Great tunes there, Tim. And I suppose we'll just quickly get into the weather before we start off today. We're looking at a top of 23 with medium chance of showers, becoming less likely in the afternoon. Winds are south 15 kilometres to 25 kilometres, southeast in the middle of the day and becoming light in the evening. Our chances of rain are 20% with less than a millimetre. Our fire danger rating is moderate and our UV index is very high. It's sitting around close to 21 or 22 degrees, although it's feeling a bit more like maybe 18.5 degrees. The humidity is 76% with the winds south about 30 kilometres per hour, and those wind gusts are coming through at 32 kilometres an hour. So there we go for the weather for today. In line with our guests that we have on the program today, I'm going to be playing a bit of a Beach Boys themed song. Some lineup of songs for you, so I hope you do enjoy them. I'd have with me today Ian, and Ian is responsible for the Disabled Surfers Association in the South Coast. How are you today, Ian?
Yeah, good, thanks, Becca. How are you?
Great, thanks for coming along today. Really do appreciate it.
No, that's fine.
Thank you. So I'll start off with Beach Boys Surfing Safari. Here we go.
Let's go surfing now, everybody's...
There we go. We had Surfing USA, and before that, Surfing Safari. Beach Boys all day. Sorry, peeps. It's a great band, and they have some wonderful surfing songs. So we'll get into it with Ian. Ian, I know that you've done a lot of stuff over the years, but could you please refresh us on what Disabled Surfers Association does, especially here in the South Coast?
Okay, well, the Disabled Surfers Association was started in the Wollongong South Coast area in 1993, and they ran their first event at Bellambi Beach with the help of the Layback Longboarders Club and students from Oak Flats High. Forward 31 years to what we do now, we now run 4 events per season. In the summer months, of course, because the water needs to be a little bit warmer so our participants don't get cold. They get cold very easily. We run events now at Mollymook. We run an event at Thurrool. We had an event last weekend at Giroa, and in 2 weeks' time we have an event coming up at Port Kembla. Those locations have been looked at and sourced due to the fact of their accessibility, the facilities they have around those areas, and also the catchment for people with disabilities in the area to be able to come down and have a surf. And what we do with the help of all of our fantastic volunteers, we try to take people with disabilities, and this is any type of disability, for a safe surfing experience. Some of those people don't get an opportunity to go into the water, they don't get an opportunity to go to the beach, and we make it happen with specialised equipment, the beach wheelchairs, our lifting slings, our surf socks that we use to lift them from their wheelchairs into our wheelchairs and from those wheelchairs onto the surfboards. And we're just basically trying to make them feel the same as everyone else. We want to give them dignity when they get from the car park or the grassed area to the beach. And we do that by using those chairs, and we do it safely. So, yeah, that's what we do.
Awesome. That sounds so phenomenal. There is just, if you've seen an issue and you've filled that need, there's so many people out there that wouldn't be able to go surfing after they've had an injury or the condition that they might have, and you give them that opportunity to get in there and do that. So thank you very much for that. My next question for you is, so how did this wonderful organisation come about? I know that you spoke briefly about who the first group of people, but what was the idea behind that?
It wasn't my idea. It was an idea of a fellow by the name of Gary Blaschke. So in the early 80s or mid-80s, Gary had a motorbike accident and he basically lost his kneecap, and he was an avid surfer, used to surf along the coast down here, come down from Sydney every weekend and surf. He wanted to get back in the water, and he thought the only way that he could do that was to have help from a few of his mates. So they got together, took him for surfing, and then he got out of the water and he thought, geez, if I can do this for people like me just with a knee injury, imagine if we got some more people to volunteer here. We could take people with disabilities out there, and it's just kicked off from there. It's kicked off to the fact that we are basically booked out now in regards to our participant numbers, and we've got a waiting list of 15 people that want to come with us surf next weekend. So,
wow.
People and organisations now understand what disabled surfers can do and how we do it, and they're all jumping on board and just knowing that we can provide that activity, make it safe, make it enjoyable, and at the moment it's free, and that's a bonus.
That's a huge bonus because so many things aren't these days. I would like to touch on, just because I've been there previously, to disability surfers. Sorry to go off script. And I know that Len Snowden, he's a great advocate for the Disability Services Association. He's missing an arm and a leg, and he actually gets out there and does some great things, and I think that is a testament to show other people what they can actually do if they put their minds to it.
That's correct, yeah. Len's a phenomenal fella. Go back a number of years, and I've been involved now for just under 30 years.
Wow.
He was the person that got me involved. I was working as a lifeguard at Bulli Beach. He came down there. I didn't know they were coming to go for a surf with the Disabled Surfers Association. He was told to go over to the lifeguard and see if the lifeguard could help him out in any way. So he came over and tapped me on the shoulder, and we had a quick chat, and he sort of looked at me and went, you're here to help? I said, yeah, I'm here to help. He said, hang on to this, and he gave me his arm and his leg. And that really blew me away, and I took it up and put it in the first aid room. And at that stage, I'm talking like just in the early 90s, like the arm and leg, they were worth over $150,000 then.
Wow.
So, like, I know Len goes overseas every couple of years to get a new arm and leg. The one he come back with last year, actually, because the thing now is you get a tattoo on your leg and that kind of stuff. Everyone's got tattoos.
True,
so he's got tattoos on his leg. And I think he might have one on his arm as well that he brought back from overseas. So, yeah, Len was the person that got me involved. We're still great mates to this day, and yeah, phenomenal fella.
Awesome. So now we might cut to some quick tunes, or quick tune. I've got the Beach Boys again with Surf's Up.
2 girls for it.
Okay, that was Surf's Up, Beach Boys. Great song. So we're going to get back to our chat with Ian from Disabled Surfers Association South Coast now. I'm just wondering, what is your position in the organisation, Ian? You sound like you do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I'm the president, and that role is open. I've got a great committee that help me out, and who some of them have been there longer than I have. We just work all together. A lot of the decisions that are made with our organisation aren't made by myself. You know, I'll ring around and get other people's advice and we take that seriously, and that's how we make our decisions. It's not just from the top down; it's across the board. So yeah, I'm really lucky in that way that our committee have been together for a number of years now and function well. We all have the same intention, and that's to make the days as best and as fun as we can for the participants, even for the volunteers. We have volunteers come along and they're blown away by the happiness that's shown both ways, from the volunteers to the participants and from the participants back to the volunteers. I know that I get more out of helping out and volunteering in a day than what I put in. And that's just the way of the land that we operate under. So, my position as president, I'm seen as the figurehead, I suppose. I try and run the event as best I can and use my knowledge from my previous life as a lifeguard around safety on the water and so on, which is a high challenge for us to make sure everyone's safe in the water. So, but I can't do it without my committee and the volunteers.
Yes. Well, I have to say you do an excellent job. I've actually been to a couple of these events and they're very well organised. I love your colour coding system to let people know just visually who is who in the zoo.
That's correct.
Or in the beach. And what did you want to just refresh people what those different colour codes were?
Sure. We start off with our surfers. We used to put them down as participants. They're surfers. We call them surfers now. Their new rash vests have got surfers on them. So they're in yellow, high-vis yellow, so we know from a distance where our participants are. If they wander off out of our designated areas, we have people walking around making sure that everyone stays in our area. So that's officially wise and insurance wise, we've got control of that area and we know who's in that area. Carers are in a light grey colour, and again on the rash vest it has carer on them, so we know who they are. Our volunteers, they're in light blue, and on a day they are the ones that stand out the most because there are so many of them in regards to numbers compared to say our red shirters who are our team leaders. We might have 20 of those where we hope to have 200 volunteers. Above that, we have green shirters, and they're the people there, they're beach marshals. They're the ones that just basically run each flag that the surfers and the volunteers will surf off. And then we go down to the event organiser, General and myself. You just look down, look for the marshmallow, because my rash vest is pink. And, so I'll be on the beach trying to coordinate everything and make sure things run smoothly on the day.
Cool. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I think we'll jump into some more music now, if that's okay with you, Ian.
Sure thing.
No worries. So I've actually got a bit of a surf, but I've got Surfing, and then we've got Surf City by the Beach Boys. So we're going to play this for you now, and I hope you do enjoy them as much as I do.
Surfing is the only life, the only way for me.
Okay, that was just Surf City, and then before that we had Surfing. So we're going to hear more from Ian on the other side of these messages, just to tell us about his exciting event coming up in Port Kembla, but we'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so we're back and we're chatting with Ian. He's telling us some wonderful stuff from Disability Surfers Association in South Coast. I want to talk to him about, he's got an event coming up in Port Kembla, and that's happening in the next couple of weeks. Can you tell us a bit more about that, Ian?
Yeah, that's correct. So on Saturday the 8th of March, we're holding our last event for the season, and that's at Port Kembla Beach. Port Kembla Beach was chosen because of the accessibility for people with wheelchairs and disabilities, access into the pool, both from the pool deck and the beach side of the premises down there. The new ramp that goes down onto the beach, the promenade, access all over is one of the best in our area. So, yeah, we chose Port Kembla for that reason. And the conditions down there also suit our needs as well. So yeah, we're looking to have a great time down there. I think it's about 11 days' time.
Oh, awesome. So I suppose that if you wanted to let people know how they could get onto and register for that event, if they were looking to attend or just come along on the day.
Sure. So it's very popular. At the moment, our booking system has us as booked out, as in positions for surfers. There is a waiting list currently at the moment. It's quite substantial as well. So we need volunteers, able-bodied volunteers, to come down the beach and help us out and help us run the day. Disabled surfers have a minimum of 1 participant to 6 volunteers when we're in the water. That's our minimum. So we try to run 6 to 8 boards in the water at one time, and most of our lanes that we surf in, we try and have like 15 people, 20 people and so on. So, yeah, our numbers are down at the moment in regards to volunteers. So if you want to come down and give us a hand, you don't need to know how to surf. Sometimes you don't even need to get wet. There are jobs that need to be done throughout the day on the beach, in the registration tent, just helping run our event and helping put equipment up, helping pull equipment down, pushing wheelchairs along the beach, things like that. So if you want to get involved, if you can go to the Humanitix website, Human ITIX, go to their website, type in Port Kembla Beach, and then the events at Port Kembla Beach will pop up. Ours will probably be the first one because it's probably the closest. And you can register your intention to come down and volunteer, and you can buy your free ticket. Just follow the instructions, and that's how easy it is. What will happen is Humanitix will then send you a letter explaining how we run our day and what to expect when you get there and where to go and so on. We will get an email saying that you're intending to come down and volunteer, and then we'll make sure there's some sausage sandwiches and a drink there for you at the end of the day as well. So that's just a way of how we can say thank you to volunteers. And as I said, you don't need to be a surfer. You don't need to be a swimmer. It doesn't matter. We've got jobs on the beach or throughout our organisation for you to help out on that day. So we really need help. We're in a bit of trouble at the moment in regards to numbers for helpers. I'm sure we'll get them. If we don't, it just means that we have to minimise the time that those people are spend in the water. So that's not our aim. We hope to give them 4 to 8 waves throughout the day, 2 goes each, but we can't do it without volunteers. So, yeah, get down there, get on the Humanitix webpage, sign up, and at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure you will thank me for inviting you along.
Definitely. It's a very worthy cause, and you're helping a lot of people have an experience that they might otherwise not get usually. So I do urge everybody that's out there that can spare their legs on the day, get out there and help as much as you can and give everyone a good time. That will be a wonderful thing if we see more than 300 people.
That's correct, yeah. We need at least 180 volunteers to run our event smoothly. I know there's 55 participants booked in, 15 on a waiting list, plus carers. There's about 70 carers as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a big day. It's not a long day. It's an enjoyable day. And at the end of it, you'll know and you'll have a smile on your face because you'll know you've made a difference. By turning up and helping out on the day, you change someone's life forever. Some of these people do not get an opportunity to go to the water, and you make it happen by turning up and volunteering. So, yeah, it's a great thing to do.
Definitely, and I heard mention, because people always like a free sausage sizzle, I heard mention that in there somewhere that you've got a barbecue that you put on at the end of the day for everybody.
That's correct, yeah. The local Bunnings in the area provide the sausages and the drinks for the day. So Kembla Grange Bunnings have been fantastic for us over the years. They come down and cook up the barbecue. We have giveaways as well for anyone that wants them. I've got blocks of wax and other things we get from local businesses we give out throughout the day. A lot of people don't want that. They're just happy to come down and help, and the satisfaction they get out of seeing the smiles on the kids' faces. Mums and dads crying up on the sand because their son's out in the water or their daughter's out in the water for the first time. That type of stuff is what the people come down and volunteer and help out for. So, yeah, if we all get down there, make it a great day, you will change someone's life forever.
Definitely. I totally agree with that, because I think I'm not sure if you recall the story that you told me a little while ago when you first come on here about the young lady that came with the tracheotomy to the beach.
Yeah, with Kelly, yes.
Could you maybe recant that story, because I think that is so amazing.
Kelly's one of our high needs, been serving with us probably about 25 years now. She was in a car accident at the age of 3, become a quadriplegic. So Kelly comes surfing with us, she travels down from Sydney, and we were at Mollymook one time, and she'd travel all the way from Mollymook to go for a surf. We get down there, and the way Kelly surfs is we lay her on her back in what we call bean bags, and they are like a flotation device that will go on top of our board. Kelly lays on her back with the head facing forward. With the feet facing forward. And our pilot or our surfer on the back of the board who steers her on the way to the beach. On this day, she'd travel all the way down from Sydney, and it started to rain. So can you imagine if you're on your back out in the water, you've got your tracheotomy hole open. Oh, wow. Water goes in that tracheotomy hole. So what we do, Kelly has an airbag, and her wheelchair actually breathes for her. So when we take her out of the wheelchair, she goes onto a manual airbag. So the lady walks out with her. We pump the airbag that's so she breathes. We have her out the back waiting for the wave. We don't go right out the back. We surf in whitewash water, waist deep, a bit higher. We work out what wave we're going to catch. Kelly's carer takes the airbag out of Kelly's tracheotomy. We put the wetsuit over the hole and we surf in. But on this day, it was pouring down rain. And we thought, what can we do and how can we do it? How can we get Kelly out into the water without getting water into her tracheotomy? What we ended up doing is we had 4 tents on the beach, 3 metre by 4 metre tents on the beach. We actually picked all those tents up and we got our volunteers to walk out, and we made a line of tents out into the water, and Kelly surfed down the middle of those tents to keep the rain out of her tracheotomy. So we make it happen. I've always said before, disabled surfing is like plasticine. People know what plasticine's like, and what we do, we just mould the plasticine to suit our participants' needs, our surfers' needs on the day, and every wave is different, every person, every disability is different, so we just mould that plasticine to suit their needs to make sure it's safe and enjoyable for them on the day.
That is amazing. I don't know, like, she's got some courage to do something like that. We've got other people that come along that are blind and deaf, and what would I say? They just trust us to take them into the water. Can you imagine yourself being blind and deaf and not being able to communicate and going surfing? Like, it's just something you don't think about. But we make it happen. That's amazing. We can't make it happen without our volunteers. So don't get blown away by, this is a big story, it's too much for me. It's not. You're going to be there with hopefully 150 other people. And it just, in those numbers, working with the disabilities we work with, it just breaks those stamina, the barriers down. Everyone's there to have fun. Everyone's there to help. And it just becomes easier. Oh, wow, that is so phenomenal. It blows me away that people are so, as you say, trusting and courageous to get out there and do what they need to do.
They are courageous. They are so trustworthy, and they just they put their life in your hands for that time that you're in there. And some of these people we don't know who they are. We don't know them. They don't know us, but they just trust us to do what we do. We've been doing it for 31 years. As I said, we're getting busier and busier, so we must be doing something right. All of our events are free as well, so everything happens in the day is free.
That's a big draw card, I think.
That's correct.
It's free.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, you're doing a great job, and it's a great service that you're doing to the community to hold something like that. So now I'm just going to jump into it's a Beach Boys medley. Goes for a little bit, but I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy the song. So here we go, Beach Boys medley.
I love the color.
There we go with the Beach Boys medley. Quite a few enjoyable songs there. Some we've already heard, but I enjoy hearing them again. So I'd love to keep chatting with Ian from Disabled Surfers Association. How can people get in contact with you to register, Ian? There's a few different options there.
That's correct, yeah. They can go to the Humanitics page and, as I said, type in Port Kembla Beach and our event will come up. They can go to our webpage, www.disabledsurfers.org, or if they're struggling with that and even struggling with the registration on the Humanitics page, they can always give me a call. I'm happy to talk about disabled surfing. I'm happy to help out in any way regarding registrations and so on. And they can call me on 0421 601 222.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So I'd like to mention to everybody if they could please stay listening to the program following. We have Eileen coming out with the Smooth Connections after this. And I've just been chatting to Ian while we had some of the music on. And he said that if you hear this interview on VOX FM, and you're quite welcome to go down and see Ian on the day of the event at Port Kembla, and he'll help you out with a little freebie of something. We're not giving away what it is, but he's got some stuff to give away, so he'd love to see you there in the capacity that you're actually able to help out on the day. It would be just an incredible experience both for yourself and for the person that's actually on the surfboard to be able to help out and give a hand with what you can do. I'd like to say thank you very much for coming on today, Ian. We've really enjoyed hearing about what you guys do at Disabled Surfers Association in the South Coast. It's an actually incredible service that you offer to people in the community, not just with conditions, but maybe they've got an injury or something, illness or something, and they aren't able to get out there and usually use the facilities at the beach, and you help them to do that. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, and thank you to listeners. Hope to see you down there on the 8th of March.
Yeah, so make sure that you can get a hold of that. If you do need to, jump either on the website, as Ian said. You've got www.disabledsurfers.org, and you can just flick down. They've got a South Coast branch that you can click on. So that's one way to go straight to their main page for the whole of Australia, because they do operate in other areas as well as the South Coast. If you could please repeat that phone number, Ian.
Yes, sure. 0421 601 222.
Awesome. Nice and easy. So we'll probably get you back again, Ian. That would be wonderful if we could speak to you as you're coming up to one of your first events for the year.
Will do.
Just to let people know that it's on and it's happening again, so they can get ready and get registering to come along to that event.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Not a problem.